Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to a very special episode of Eat the Buckle, the podcast that generally puts two horror movies in a weekly head-to-head matchup where we choose the loser and watch it repeatedly. But this week, it's another special Fireside Chat edition of Eat the Buckle because not with me, as always, are my two co-hosts, Josh and Aaron. It's just me this week. Once again, the stars did not align in our favor, and our schedules did not line up to be able to record a regular episode this week. So once again, I'll take you through another 15 or so minutes of some movies that I've seen, because it's pretty much all I do with my life, and I've seen quite a few that we otherwise would not cover because of the logistical nightmares behind it. So sit back, relax, and I'll take you on a little journey through Tinseltown. Actually, first I want to talk about, since it's been established, a man of class and dignified tastes, recommend a couple books, because we are on the edge of summer, and who doesn't love a nice summer read? Whether you're at the beach or your backyard or wherever, just sitting out in the sun. Not that I know what the sun feels like. Up here in Maine, it's been 49 degrees every day for the last month, it seems. Actually, today was really nice, but other than that, it's been freezing, but it's been hell. What am I doing here? No, I love Maine. But anyway, summer reading. I recommend two books. One called We Used to Live Here by Marcus Klewer, Kliewer. It's a haunted house psychological thriller book. This book actually scared me, and I pretty much predominantly read horror movies, but horror books, novels, but I've never actually been scared by a book. There can be tense moments reading books, and of course, but this actually scared me. It gave me the willies, made me a little spooked to be alone in the house. But so it's rare that a book can reach that feat, and I highly recommend this one. It's a fast read. It's only 300 pages, but really good, very, very creepy. Second one is Bunny by Mona Awad, A-W-A-D. This, I can't really say anything about it without spoiling, and it's best to really know nothing about this book. If you just really want to feel like you're on the verge of a psychotic breakdown for 400 pages of a book or so, then it's a wild ride. So there you go. Two off the beaten path recommendations from your old pal Jer Bear. Let's get to the horror movies. I saw a movie called Hell of a Summer. This is the directorial debut of Finn Wolfhard of Stranger Things fame. I know he co-wrote it with a friend of his, so let me get that information for you. I should have had this pulled up already. That was Billy Brick and Finn Wolfhard both wrote and directed it, and they both play parts in it. I don't think they really star in it, but they are in it. This is a summer slasher, comedy horror. I know probably a lot of people, including Aaron, co-host Aaron, is probably rolling his eyes right now just at the mere mention of Finn Wolfhard from Stranger Things. But this was a really entertaining movie. Of course, it's been established that slashers are my favorite genre of horror, and subgenre being the summer camp slasher. So this scratches all those itches for me. And it was genuinely funny. I thought, I watched it with my wife, and we both were cracking up out loud laughing at this thing. Plus it's entertaining. It's not really a spoof, but it definitely makes fun of the tropes of horror movies, and it's not set in the 80s just because it has Stranger Things alum in it. It is present day, Actually, it might be early 2000s, but it's not 80s. There's, I think, landlines being used, so I want to say it was early 2000s probably, but it came out just a couple months ago, and a lot of fun. A lot of fun to be had, a lot of laughs to be had. The only complaint with it was a lot of the kills were off-screen kills. There was a couple gore kills, so I don't know if it was cut down. I'd be interested to see an uncut version of it. But yeah, small complaint. But it's under an hour and a half, so if you're looking for something to kick off your summer, you could do a lot worse than that. Next up, speaking of summer blockbusters, I have been catching up on the Mission Impossible movies, which I had never seen any, but I wanted to see the new one in IMAX. I just really like seeing stuff in IMAX, and who doesn't? You know, get a little loose, have a little drinky poo, maybe a smoky smoke, and just go see the biggest screen you can. And this new Mission Impossible seems like if you're going to see an IMAX movie, then that should be the one. So I wanted to kind of catch up on it and see what, I wasn't sure if it was standalone stories like in James Bond universe, but I was told that there is a lot of connective tissue between the movies, so figured I'd start. So we have been binging those. There's a lot more than I thought there were. There might be too many, and they are long. I think the shortest one might be 2 hours, and the new one I've heard is 2 hours and 50 minutes. So that's a lot of Tom Cruise running fat. That man can run. It's fun to watch him run. No one runs like Tom Cruise, but they've been really entertaining. Some better than others. I think so we've watched 5 of them. Number 2 was bad. And the other ones have been running the gamut of really good to watchable. So I'll keep going and hopefully get them in before that leaves theaters, specifically IMAX theaters. On that note of spy movies, we watched Black Bag, Soderbergh's Black Bag. That was a lot of fun, and I generally don't like spy movies, so it's maybe I do, because I've seen 5 Mission Impossible movies that I've mostly enjoyed, and I really liked Black Bag, so maybe I'm turning a new leaf, an old dog learning new tricks. But it was good. It was Soderbergh is he's kind of all over the place for me. He's like the if Oz Perkins was a good director, because the man releases about 5 movies a year, it seems, and all over the map with quality. He's got the quantity, that's for sure. But this was definitely top tier Soderbergh. And then a couple months ago, he released Presence, which is this, marketed as Soderbergh's horror movie. I don't think he's done horror before, and this how this Presence movie was marketed. So I was really interested in that. What would his vision be for a horror movie? So yeah, the Black Bag and Presence came out within like a 5-month period of each other. So he's definitely doing the Oz Perkins. The only difference is both these movies were good, whereas Perkins, well, it's well documented, my thoughts on the man and his work. I like the man. I like Oz Perkins. He's an interesting guy, and he's lived an interesting life, but his movies kind of suck. But Presence was a haunted house movie, kind of. It should not have been marketed as a horror movie. It was more of a family drama with a ghost. And believe it or not, it did have some trauma involved. Last time I did one of these, I complained about trauma in the horror zeitgeist. Every movie now being about dealing with trauma, the metaphor for spookiness. But it was cool that it would not have been a good movie had Soderbergh not directed it, I don't think. But the way he shot it, and he did the camera work. He was the DP, where he was actually in the room with all the... It's a really small movie. It mostly takes place in one house, and 4 people in a family, and then like a friend comes over every once in a while. But so Soderbergh was in there with the camera, as kind of the sixth actor, and if you watch it, you'll know what I mean. The camera plays a real big part in the film. But it was cool. Again, just the vision of Soderbergh made it worthwhile. And the acting, the performances were really good. That takes me to Sinners. Boy, oh boy. What a movie. We have touched on it a little bit, just, briefly in passing on this show, and me imploring my co-hosts to see it in the theaters. I'm so glad I went and saw it in theaters. I'm bummed I did not see it in IMAX, because it, the only thing that could make it better is to probably have seen it on a better screen. But man, what a movie. Just pure fucking entertainment. It was about 2.5 hours long. It didn't feel it. I think it's getting... I understand the comparisons to Dusk Till Dawn, From Dusk Till Dawn. I think there are elements, surely. I'm sure he was... Ryan Coogler wrote and directed. I'm sure he was heavily influenced by that movie. And also Demon Knight. Had some Demon Knight vibes, but those two, Demon Knight and From Dusk Till Dawn, are also very similar. And, I mean, if you're going to be influenced by two horror pictures, those are pretty damn good ones. But he takes it to a whole other level. It's just... obviously people know the twist, but so knowing that that's coming doesn't make it any less enjoyable. Go see it, please, for me. You'll have a blast. Final destination will be my final destination in this recording, the new Final Destination Bloodlines. I saw this in theaters. I've shared my story. The man who ate an entire concession stand worth of food, seemingly right in my eardrum. But it was really good. I'm looking up the writer of this movie, because he is the same gentleman that wrote the last two Scream movies, Scream 5 and 6, which I liked a lot. And his name is Guy Busick, and he wrote a lot of the films that are directed by, what are they called? Radio Silence is the team that does those movies. They did Scream and Abigail and Ready or Not, which are all a lot of fun. And this was, right on that level of just dumb shit, but man, if you just turn your brain off, you'll have a really fun time. And Guy Busick is writing the new Scream coming out. I was a little worried about the new Scream because of Miramax. I don't even know who's producing it now. Whatever production team is doing it, that got rid of the main actress for having the gall to stand up for what's going on in Gaza, and got completely shut out of that movie. For her views. I was a little worried that it would be new directors, new cast, and all that, but Guy Busick is involved, so I'm excited because everything I've seen of his has been really good. Final Destination, no exception. It probably is my favorite of the Final Destinations. I think it had the most clever deaths, set pieces that I've seen. The showstopper is always the first 15 minutes where it's setting up the big event that the characters escape from, that have death coming for them. So this one was I think probably the most famous. Even people who have never seen Final Destination think of that logging truck. I think it was Final Destination 2, where the logs fall out of the back of the truck and kill a bunch of people, that might be the best opening The new Bloodlines opening is really close second. I am terrified of heights, and this new one took place in, it looked like the Sky Needle in Seattle. Is that what it's called? The Sky Needle? I don't know. That sounds right. We'll go with it. And the way it was shot, it had me tingling. You ever get that feeling when you're up high and you look over an edge and you get that little tingle in your little tummy tingle? Get that little tummy tingle? I had that for like the first 20 minutes of this movie. It was really intense and just it was a wild movie. And also not meta in the way Scream is, but kind of self-referential in a funny way. Didn't take itself seriously at all. Not that the other ones did, but I think this one especially knew what it was, knew who was coming to see it, and really delivered on the goods. And hopefully, people out there, I have delivered on the goods this week. That'll do it for me. I've bent your ear long enough, and I appreciate you if you've made it this far listening. Appreciate you if you haven't made it this far listening. We will be back with the regular episodes. As of this recording, I have not watched the next episode's movie, Witchboard. But I'm going to get on that. But that's not why we're not recording. We will be back with regular episodes, hopefully next week. It's tough. Like I said, it's tough to get all these schedules aligned, and especially now with the weather being warmer and vacations, and Josh is a busy man. It's hard to nail people down for synchronized recordings, but we will. Rest assured. So, that being said, stay tuned. Hopefully soon. And if not, you'll get more of this bullshit. Thanks for listening. Save some room for next week, I think. We'll be eating the buckle. Hey, real quick, I'm back. I just thought it was important. I kind of glossed over the whole Scream 7 incident. Just being very vaguely calling the main actress and the production company. I just didn't have any information in front of me on people's names and didn't want to sit there fumbling around going, but I think it is important to say the actor's name who was unceremoniously fired from the production of Scream 7 by Spyglass Entertainment Production. For not even saying her own comments, but reposting on Instagram, or sharing, I guess. I don't know. What is that called on Instagram? I don't do Instagram. I'm an adult man. But she just reposted some things that were said by other publications alluding to the human atrocities, the nightmare that's happening to and continues to happen to the people of Gaza. So she, was thrown off the project for that. And that's a really shitty thing to do. And apparently Jenna Ortega was like, well, she's not part of it, I'm not part of it, so she left. So you don't get the two main gals from the last, the reboots of Scream, the new Scream trilogy. But you do get Matthew Lillard, so at least there's that. And for some reason, my realtor is calling me right now at 7:30 on a Tuesday. So I'm going to jump off here. I just thought didn't really want to gloss over that and be dismissive of Melissa Barrera and her predicament. So there you go. Bye.